If you feel like many K-dramas today follow similar romantic or office drama formulas, sometimes the best way to refresh your watch list is by exploring stories about rebellion. These dramas are not just about action or fighting against authority. They often dive deep into history, political struggles, social injustice, and the emotional sacrifices people make when they stand up against powerful systems. What makes rebellion-themed Korean dramas so compelling is that many of them are inspired by real historical events in Korea, from the Gwangju Uprising to peasant revolts during the Joseon Dynasty. That means while you're enjoying intense storytelling, you're also learning something about the past. In today's video, we're going to talk about 8 Korean dramas that revolve around rebellion, resistance, and the fight for justice. And I'm really curious to know which of these stories feels the most powerful to you, because each one presents rebellion in a very different way. Youth of May 2021. Youth of May is one of the most emotional dramas set during a real historical event in South Korea, the Gwangju Uprising of May 1980. The story centers on Hwang Hee-tae, a top medical student who seems carefree but is actually very determined, and Kim Young-hee, a hardworking and brave nurse. At first, their story feels like a simple romance between two young people trying to build their lives. But as the political situation in Gwangju becomes more intense, their love story becomes deeply entangled with the chaos happening around them. What makes this drama so powerful is how it shows rebellion from the perspective of ordinary people who suddenly find themselves in the middle of history. Personally, I think Youth of May stands out because it doesn't try to glorify rebellion as something heroic and glamorous. Instead, it shows how painful and heartbreaking those moments can be for the people living through them. Nakdu Flower 2019. Nakdu Flower takes us much further back in time to the late Joseon period and tells the story of the Donghak Peasant Revolution, one of the largest uprisings in Korean history. The drama follows two half-brothers who end up on opposite sides of the conflict. Baek Kang, the son of a concubine, joins the Donghak peasant army to fight against corruption and injustice. Meanwhile, his younger brother, Baek Hyun, becomes part of the government forces trying to suppress the rebellion. What makes this drama particularly interesting is the emotional conflict between the brothers. Instead of portraying rebellion as a simple battle between good and evil, the story shows how political struggles can divide families and communities. Personally, I think that's what makes historical dramas like this so compelling. They remind us that behind every revolution are real people with complicated relationships and painful choices. My Dearest 2023. My Dearest brings viewers into the turbulent period of the Qing invasion of Joseon. At the center of the story are Lee Jang-hyun and Yoo Gil-chae, two characters whose relationship develops while their country faces invasion and war. The drama combines romance with themes of survival, loyalty, and resistance against foreign forces. What I really like about My Dearest is how it balances personal stories with large-scale historical events. You see how ordinary citizens struggle to protect their homes and dignity while powerful empires clash around them. The love story between the main characters becomes the emotional thread that connects everything. In my opinion, this drama works so well because it reminds viewers that even during the darkest times of war and rebellion, people still search for hope, love, and reasons to keep going. Mr. Sunshine 2018. Mr. Sunshine is often considered one of the most visually stunning historical K-dramas ever made. The story takes place during the final years of the Joseon Dynasty when foreign powers, especially Japan, were expanding their influence over Korea. The main character, Eugene Choi, is a Korean-born man who returns to his homeland as a United States Marine officer. There he meets Go Shin, a noblewoman who secretly works as a sniper for the resistance movement. What makes this drama fascinating is how it explores questions of identity and loyalty. Eugene struggles with his complicated feelings about the country that once rejected him, while Aishin dedicates her life to fighting for Korea's independence. Personally, I think Mr. Sunshine is such a memorable drama because it combines epic historical storytelling with deeply emotional character arcs. Deep-Rooted Tree 2011. Deep-Rooted Tree tells a very different kind of rebellion story, one that centers on language and knowledge rather than weapons. The drama focuses on King Sejong and his effort to create Hangul, the Korean alphabet, during a time when the elite class wanted to keep using Chinese characters. For the common people, those characters were extremely difficult to learn, which meant knowledge remained limited to the aristocracy. By creating Hangul, King Sejong essentially challenged the entire social system. What I find fascinating about this drama is the idea that something as simple as an alphabet could become an act of rebellion. It shows that revolutions are not always fought with swords or guns. Sometimes they begin with ideas that empower ordinary people. Snowdrop, 2021. Snowdrop is another drama set during a politically turbulent period in South Korea. The story revolves around Eun Young-ro, a university student who discovers an injured man named Lim Soo-ho hiding in her dormitory. She decides to protect him without knowing that he is actually a North Korean spy. As the story unfolds, their relationship develops, while the country faces political tension and democratic movements. Snowdrop mixes romance, suspense, and historical context in a way that keeps viewers questioning the characters' motivations. Personally, I think what makes this drama interesting is the moral complexity of its characters. No one is completely innocent, and everyone seems to be hiding secrets, which makes the story even more unpredictable. Rebel, Thief Who Stole the People, 2017. Rebel Thief Who Stole the People tells the legendary story of Hong Gil Dong, a figure often compared to a Korean version of Robin Hood. Born as the son of a slave, Hong Gil Dong grows up witnessing the cruelty and corruption of the ruling class. Eventually, he becomes the leader of a group that steals from the rich and helps the poor. The drama focuses heavily on his fight against the tyrannical King Yeonsang-gun. What makes this story so engaging is the idea that rebellion sometimes comes from the people who have suffered the most injustice. Personally, I think characters like Hong Gil Dong resonate with viewers because they represent the dream that ordinary people can stand up against powerful rulers. Gunman in Joseon, 2014. Gunman in Joseon blends action, revenge, and political rebellion into a dramatic historical narrative. The story follows Park Yoon-kang, a young nobleman whose life is destroyed after his father is falsely accused and killed. Forced to flee, he travels to Japan and eventually returns to Joseon under a new identity as a skilled gunman. With modern firearms and determination, he begins uncovering the political conspiracies that ruined his family. What makes this drama unique is the way it introduces new technology, like guns, into the traditional sword-based world of Joseon. Personally, I think that contrast creates a very exciting atmosphere and adds another layer to the rebellion theme. When you look at all these dramas together, it becomes clear that rebellion can take many forms. Sometimes it's a political uprising, sometimes it's a fight for independence, and sometimes it's simply the courage to challenge an unfair system. That's why these stories remain so powerful even years after they were released. They remind us that history is shaped by people who dared to question authority and demand change. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these rebellion-themed dramas do you think tells the most powerful story? And are there any other historical K-dramas about resistance that you would recommend? Let's talk about it in the comments.